Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. And so today is Monday, May 2nd, and we have so much to talk about. I'm going to tell you all about global entry and then so much other news. We've got canceled cruises, we've got COVID protocol updates, we've got just so much to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members. It is wonderful to be here with you. And also, welcome to all of you who are new. If anyone hasn't subscribed, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. The reason that I always ask that is the more subscribers we get, the more YouTube offers our video to more people, so that we will get more people watching our videos and joining our Let's Go family. And we really want this to be an amazing community where we can all talk about cruising as well as share a lot of experiences and tips to help each other out. And I think it really helps. The larger our community gets, the more I will be able to hear from people and share with you what is going on the cruise ships right now, so that you will know a little bit more what to expect. I would have thought, you know, if you would have asked me a year ago if we would still be talking about COVID quite so much on cruise ships, I don't know that I would have thought we would. But here we are today, and it is a really big deal to know what's going on. So first of all, I want to talk to you about Global Entry. Now, Global Entry is a program, and it's run through like the Department of Homeland Security and like U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. And what it does is it's a program that allows you that when you enter the United States from like a whole bunch of countries, you get to come in so much more quickly. It makes it so that you have your own lane and everything goes so much quicker. So basically what you do is you go online, and I'll put that link below this video. So I'm going to do a video showing people how to navigate a little bit better to see this. But under our video, if you click on the show more, then you will see a whole box will drop down. The link will be there. So what you do is you have to go online and apply. Once you apply, they do an actual quite stringent background check on you. And then if you are conditionally approved, basically approved, then you either go to one of their interview locations, which is usually, it's at most major airports here in the United States, and you can even do that interview, either go make an appointment. There's a place to do that online with the link that I'm showing you. Just go through the process. So you can either do that, or if you are conditionally approved, then you can do that interview as you return to the United States. If you're going to go soon, you can just do it upon return. And that's what Gordon and I did when we got this in 2019. And as we were returning from our cruise to the Mediterranean, then we come into the Salt Lake City airport. We got in that Global Entry lane, and the Border Patrol guy just took us aside, and basically they're verifying your identity, and they do your actual scan of your fingerprint, so that then the next time that you come in and you're all set up, all you have to do is get in the Global Entry lane for whatever airport you're at, which that line is always so much shorter and it goes so much faster. You just get in that line, and they scan your passport, they scan your fingerprint, and you don't have to fill out a bunch of forms to come back in. And like I said, it goes so much more quickly. The other really nice perk with this program is you get TSA pre-check, and you get that on all the flights that you go on, domestic and international. So that is a really nice perk. It's good for 5 years, and it's $100. And so I think that is so affordable. I think it is remarkable, and it has always worked so good. There's also that other service that is called Clear, and I know someone that has that, and they, when it expires, are going to get Global Entry. And so if you're not familiar with that, you can just go to the website and read about that. I don't know as much about it. It's a private company, and so what I read about it, I didn't think that it was better than Global Entry. And so if I were you, I would go ahead and read about it if you want to know. But that's this is what we do, and this is what I really appreciate. Now, so that is awesome, and you can go ahead, and if you want to, when it's time to renew it, you can renew it online. It's really cool. So wanted to let you know about that. The next thing that I wanted to tell you about is we've got Jeffrey. He's our Let's Go family member, and by the way, I'll tell you, he's got a great new blog out, and I'm going to put the link under this video, and I'll remind Gordon to do that, because you need to check out his blog. I look at a lot of blogs about cruising and everything, and I'm not kidding. his is the best, and he is just starting off, and it is really, really good to start. A lot of people have a bumpy start, and his is not bumpy at all. He has really good content, and so you're going to want to take a look at that. But anyway, he mentioned that when he used to travel a lot for work to Canada, that Nexus was really helpful. And so what Nexus is, Nexus, and you know what, on the link that I'm putting below this video, it links you to all these programs so that you can easily just click on which one you want to do and sign up. So it's not hard at all. This one, Nexus, gives expedited vehicle and pedestrian entrance into the US or Canada. And so like if you're driving, you get your own lane if you have the Nexus, and as you go through, you just hold up your verification and the agent will let you through. It also gives expedited marine entry into the US from Canada, and just heads up, you don't need that when you're coming from a cruise ship. You just zip through customs the same. They don't have a Nexus line, just in case you didn't know that. And then they also give you access to the TSA pre-check here in the United, as we're used to with TSA pre-check. So there you go. That's how that works. That's $50, and I think it's for 5 years as well. My information, oh, it is for 5 years as well. I was going to say, does it say? And it does. So that is really good. And so if you are someone that goes back and forth between the US and Canada a lot, you might want to think about looking at Nexus, because I think that's really helpful. The other one that I want to tell you about is Sentry, and that is gives you expedited vehicle and pedestrian entrance, and it goes from into the U.S. from Canada and from Mexico. So if you sometimes need to go to either country or both countries, this will be good. It's $122.25, and it's for 5 years as well. And basically, I should add, for the Nexus and for Sentry, you do the same thing. You have to fill out your application, and they approve you, and then you have to go for an in-person interview. And so that part works very similar to Global Entry. And I don't know, if you go outside of the United States once every few years, maybe you don't need that. But if you fly very much, that TSA pre-check part of it's really nice, and then you just get the perk of having Global Entry with it, because I know the people that I know that have Clear that don't want to do it, they just get in. It is not nearly as good of a program coming back into the United States. You get kind of the perk of TSA pre-check here in the United States or going abroad, like leaving from here, but you don't get the same perks coming back in. And so that's why I think the Global Entry is so remarkable. I have a goal. I've got to make up for the years that I missed going in 2020 and 2021. Didn't get to go as any during the, well, I guess in 2020 at the beginning we went to Antarctica, but then the rest of 2020 we didn't get to go, and in 2021 we didn't go. And so I'm going to put my Global Entry to really good use here. But I wanted, so these are really helpful to know on that. Sentry, you also get your own lane when you are heading back into the US from Mexico or from Canada, so it goes much quicker for you. So I just thought I would let you know about those programs, and like I said, just look for the link, and everything else will be self-explanatory about that. Okay, now we are going to also share the really exciting news that yesterday, May 1st, May Day, which I love May Day. You know what, when you were in France, they give out lilies of the valley for May Day, and I miss not being there this year. But May Day, I think, is a really fun day. So anyway, yesterday, May 1st, Italy and Greece both relaxed the requirements for people visiting and for also the restrictions inside of their country. So let me tell you about Italy first. So as I have told you here before, if you are coming from the US and a lot of other countries into Italy, they were requiring people to fill out a passenger locator form that basically had all your flight information, your passport information, your vaccine information, and they have done away with that requirement. You are still going to need to show that you are vaccinated to come in. That requirement is going to stay at least through June 15th, but it's really nice that we don't have to fill out that form and worry about it now. So when we go, I'm just going to take our vaccine card with us, and that will be good. Then the other thing that Italy relaxed, which I think is wonderful, is the Green Pass, is what they called it. And it was basically your proof of vaccination. If you wanted to go like to restaurants, cinemas, museums, all these kind of places, you would have to show that. And so they have taken that requirement away as well, which I think is really, really handy. And I will point out, let me tell you this, if you are going to go to Italy, and this is like, I'm sure at least through the summertime, like we signed up for 2 independent tours, one to get in early to the Vatican, and the other one is we're going to go out and see Villa d'Este and Adriana's Villa, or Hadrian's Villa as we call it here. And to take those tours, you have to either show your vaccine card or a negative COVID test or proof of recovering very recently from COVID. And so I don't know if those are going to be updated since they changed the rule, but like on these private tour guides, I was kind of glad that they were doing that, just from the standpoint that it cuts down the likelihood that we'll get COVID when we go on those tours. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. So if you are booking separate tours, make sure you know what the requirements are. Alrighty, and then for Greece, they have had in their country what they call the vaccination certificate, and they have gotten rid of that from now, like May 1st, clear through the beginning of August. And in August, they said they'll look at it again and see if they need to bring it back. But that is what they've been doing in their country. That's kind of similar to the Green Pass that Italy was doing, that required people to show their proof of vaccination in order to go to like a bunch of places like restaurants and a whole bunch of other things. And both countries still require, though, if you are going to fly, you need to wear a mask on their airplanes. And so I was going to wear a mask anyway on our flight from JFK to Rome, but I have a feeling it might be required, and I can let you all know about that. But yeah, they are still requiring that. So if you're going to fly out of Italy or Greece, you're going to have to wear a mask, or like a flight within their country. They are still requiring that. And in Italy and Greece, in a lot of indoor locations, they are also requiring you to wear a mask, or outdoors where it's very crowded. And so just a heads up on that. But I was excited to hear that it was one less form to fill out, and that things would maybe be just a little bit smoother and easier. So the next thing that I wanted to let you know is let's talk about Australia for just a minute. First of all, I had a Let's Go family member contact me yesterday, May 1st, and let me know that they had one of their, a princess cruise in Australia canceled. She didn't tell me which one it was. She was really grateful that they would be in the country there long enough that they could take an earlier one that had not been canceled, but it is still not showing up any cancellations on the Princess website. So if any of you have had any other cruises canceled or anything like that, I'd really appreciate hearing from you. But just wanted to let you all know about that. And then also on the COVID health protocols for Australia, those were updated on April 30th. And I think that it is mainly just to make sure that they clarify everything to do with some laws there in Australia, because it's pretty much very specific what they added. It says, a specific law is not required to implement vaccination requirements. Also, having vaccination requirements is not unlawful. The cruising industry and the Commonwealth of New South Wales, Queensland, and Victoria governments have agreed to guidelines aimed at mitigating the risk of COVID-19, which includes a minimum of 95% of guests on each cruise must be fully vaccinated. And so, yeah, it just goes on to say the Commonwealth government will be permitted to, they'll just permit these cruises to go. The Commonwealth of Australia will, as long as 95% or more of the passengers are vaccinated. So they must have heard something back from somebody that didn't like that requirement. And then the other thing that was updated is under the heading of how will you check if I'm fully vaccinated, it says for information on how we collect, use, disclose, and destroy personal information, including sensitive information, please see Princess Cruise Line's privacy policy. We confirm all personal information is dealt with in accordance with relevant privacy laws, including the Privacy Act of 1988. And so if you were going to go on one of the sailings down in Australia and you were worried about any of those things, it sounds like Princess is following all of the laws, and so don't you worry. Now we have our Let's Go family member, California Linda, and she and her husband are on an Alaska cruise right now. And so let me tell you, she wanted us to know a couple of things. First of all, they got a notice, and she was so kind to send me a copy. They got a notice of a revised tour itinerary. It just says, our record shows that you have pre-reserved our tour, and I'm going to tell you the number in case any of you have it so that you have a heads up on this. SGY180A, which is the Yukon Expedition and White Pass Scenic Railway in Skagway. We've been advised by our tour operator in Skagway that due to operational issues, the tour has been canceled. And so it says, you know, should you wish to have reschedule another excursion, you can go down to deck 7 to the excursion desk and take care of that. And here's what California Linda says about it. Let me tell you this first. She sent me a beautiful picture that you can see the wake of the ship. And she says, it's great to be back on the high seas and view the wake from our cabin. They plan to spend Glacier Bay on the balcony enjoying God's majesty. I love you say that, Linda. Thank you. She says the refund is given for this canceled excursion is given in future cruise credits unless you cancel pre-cruise. And then it will be returned to you in the same form that you made the purchase. And she is not the first person I've heard this from. I heard it from a couple of other people this weekend. So if the excursion that you're going to go on is canceled, or it's one of these that include going into the Yukon, and you don't want your money back as a future cruise credit, hurry up and cancel it before you go on your cruise and then book something else. She said if your listeners are interested, so I appreciate that she adds this for us, in experiencing the White Pass Railroad excursion to the summit, please advise them to contact their travel agent or princess ASAP, as the lines to resolve this issue were long, a nuisance, frustration, and disappointment to those not following cruise vlogs. So just wanted to let you know that yeah, so if you want to do that, or if you're someone that does your own excursions, it is super easy. All you do is go into princess.com and log in, and then you go to that cruise, and then across the top you'll see excursions, and right there you can see that you can go ahead and cancel an excursion, and then you can book another excursion. I believe that it's within a week that you can't do that, a week of your cruise. And so any of you that are scheduled more than a week out, I would go ahead and do that if I were you, so that you can pick up something else you want to do. So thank you again. She also pointed out that the speakeasy is open and being fully enjoyed. So thank you for letting us know about that. That's the cigar lounge. So enjoy your, oh, okay. She also said that their meet and greet went really well. That's what we've got. Their meet and greet with Cruise Critic went really well, and she said that there are about 2,300 guests on board, which is about 2/3 normal, so that's probably about 67% capacity, and so they are not full. So that's kind of nice. So thank you very much, California Linda, for your wonderful update. Much appreciated. It helps everyone out. Alrighty, the next thing that I want to let everybody know about is yesterday I heard from Tiffany. I should have put this with Italy. Sorry. Well, you know what? It really applies to everybody. So eye health. This is just, so she's going to go to Rome tomorrow, lucky her, and hop on that Mediterranean cruise at the weekend, the same itinerary that we'll be on later in the month. And she said that she was planning to do an eye health test, you know, the government one that I showed you. I don't think I still have it here on my desk, but she was going to do that before she headed down to the ship, so that when they get there, they can just get on the ship and be ready to start enjoying right off and not have to be tested there. And she went online yesterday to pay for the portion, you know, where you just pay someone, you just pay to have your test proctored, and they are all sold out. There's not one to book for me. And so I guess I won't be testing that there. I'm going to keep an eye and see if there are any cancellations. But just a heads up, if you think you're going to do that, pick up your appointment early. And I should have thought and didn't do that. Just that's a really big heads up. Thank you, Tiffany. And so if you want to use that, make sure you pay for that right away and get it scheduled in the future. I didn't look at other months because I just need it May 28th. And so, yeah, be notified about that. And so I think I'll go ahead and get S1 bot to do sometime in June so that we can show you how to do that, okay? But I've just had my hands full with family and running a little behind on that. But thank you, Tiffany, for letting us know. So I had already ordered my tests from Optum, and I'm going to just take those with us, because then if any of the tours that we want to go on or anything pops up, we need a test in addition to the cruise, I can do that. So thanks very much, Tiffany. And then I've got an update about the Emerald and what's going on with her, and then something else that is another cruise that is being affected by the war in Ukraine. So let me tell you here, we've got Don, and boy do I appreciate this update. He let me know that yesterday, May 1st, he disembarked from the transatlantic on the Emerald there in Southampton. And and he was positive, and so I asked him if they were doing testing throughout the cruise or just how he found out he was positive. And so he was so kind to let me know what's going on. He said that everyone on the Emerald was tested on day 2 and 3, just using those 2 days to cover everybody and so once they tested everybody, the testing, the mask requirements, were lowered to be optional except for in crowded venues. He says even in the Princess Theater, only about half the people had their mask on. So everybody had to be tested for disembarkation on May 1st. And so, you need that negative test to come back into the United States. And so they went ahead and did their test at disembarkation. And on the way to the airport, his wife got her notification that she was negative, but he didn't get a notification. And so he got tested at the airport and it came back positive. And after he got tested and had to pay for it there at Heathrow, he said that it came back from the ship that it was positive as well. So he was lucky enough to be able to get his wife on a later flight out of Heathrow that day so that she could get home since she was negative, but he had to go ahead and quarantine. So he contacted, what do they call it? The Princess En Route team, and they coordinated with the Princess family representatives in London. They arranged a hotel for him there near Heathrow, and so he's got to quarantine for 10 days. And for the first 5, Princess will for sure pay for that, and they'll just have to work out a reimbursement for the second 5-day period. And he hopes he's able to return home by May 11th. He just has really minor symptoms, but he said talking to other Emerald Princess passengers who were at the hotel he is at, he estimates that there might be between 200 and 300 cases of people that tested positive and weren't able to fly home. And so he said another sign of what happened on their cruise, he says on the 11th day of the 16-day voyage, the cabin attendants passed out the KN95 masks, and a letter and an announcement were made for mandatory wearing of masks except for while you were eating or drinking. And I love, he adds this, he says, I do have to say that the Princess team is doing a good job of taking care of people. And then, let's see. Oh, make sure when you go, I love, he adds this, that you have good contact phone numbers for Princess, your travel agent, in case you can't get a hold of Princess, and an airline. Make sure that you know about that. And he says he always takes those key phone numbers and email addresses saved in his phone when he travels. And I should add that I do that. In our phone, I've got the Princess phone number. I have the Princess other phone number that I can call as a travel agent. And so that's really just very handy. And I have it for other cruise lines too, because of what I do, being a travel advisor and a travel agent. But it is really important that you take those phone numbers with you so that somebody can help you if you're in the same situation that he is in. And so if you're booked with Princess, like easier for his wife, you would talk to Princess because they would be able to help you get that other flight really quick. And it's just really important to have those phone numbers with you. So I really appreciate that. The last thing that I wanted to let you all know about, oh, and you know what, let me add this. I want to say that, that sounds, in a way, it sounds like a lot of people with COVID. But I also want to say, if you took another group, and the statistics show this, if you took another group of people, just randomly gathered together and tested them, you're going to find quite a few people that have COVID. We've got that the variant on Omicron showing a lot of increase in numbers. And just the way that it works is we have the luxury of having a vaccine now, so it helps people not get severely ill with it. That is so much more rare. But I just wanted to say that doesn't alarm me. I don't think that that is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe what's going on. Not at all. And so don't be worried. I wouldn't panic about that at all. And there we go. So the Costa Cruise Lines, it's also held by Carnival Corporation that also holds Princess Cruise Lines. They are canceling what they had set for their Baltic season this year because of the war in Ukraine, because they were set to be home ported in St. Petersburg and do sailings out of there. So they have canceled all of those cruises and they have totally reworked them. And so for this summer, they are going to sail out of Kiel, Kiel in Germany. And I like that they add that they've got some cruises going clear up to Nordkapp, up at the top there of Norway. And it sounds like a lovely season still to go. But because of they can't go to St. Petersburg, of course, that makes them alternate their cruises, change their cruises and everything. And so as we add this and as we talk about that just a little bit more, I just wanted to remind us all to keep Ukraine in our prayers. And I would also submit, keep the surrounding countries, keep the whole world really in our prayers. But my prayers do go out extra to people in Ukraine for all the suffering and all the heartache of those dear people. And I know that prayers make a difference. So if you keep them in your prayers or send good thoughts, however it is you do that in your life, I know that it helps. And so I hope that as a Let's Go family that we can do that, and anything else that is in our control to do to help the people that need the help there especially. And so I hope that you all have marvelous things planned for your day. I hope that you will join us this evening. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern is when we do our live every Monday night, and we always answer your questions. We talk about fun things to do with cruising. Tonight we're going to go through and answer any questions. I know a lot of people have questions about the sailings up in Canada right now and Alaska, and we've got everything going on in Europe, as well as all of the fun things that we like to do while we're on board. Just a few of you replied the other day when I asked you about your favorite excursions. So if you didn't reply, we would love to hear what your favorite excursions are in any port of call that you visit, or we would also really like to hear from you, like what you like to do in a port. If you arrive in a port and you don't do an excursion, tell us what your favorite thing is to do, because that will help lots of people know what to do. And it'll broaden our horizons all a little bit. And so thank you very much for your support. If you appreciate these videos and these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? And like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Would love to have you in the Let's Go family. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.